All right, everybody, welcome back to the show. This is the weekend edition, your market recap for the week on SPY. It is Friday. It's been some good trades to the up, to the downside, but most importantly, there was some guidance gave out for you guys earlier this week, and we want to see how things played out. All right, because we have more opportunity, and right now it is about 15-20 minutes before the market closed on this Friday, and I want you to go ahead and drop a valuable video and some guidance and a little recap. Okay, so again, I am Coach UV, and I'm brought to you by the Unique Trading Group, where strategy meets mindset and discipline turns into income. All right, I don't want to hold you long. I know what you came in for, but before we do that, I got a question for my new beginners. All right, anybody who's new or new to this journey, all right, are you busy, new, a little skeptical about trading stocks? Are you exactly this person? Are you that person? Well, you're exactly who I help. All right, and I want you to take a trip down to the link below in the description of this video and check out some of the things that we have to offer, okay? Because I'm here to help you guys. That's why I'm here. The missing gem, the missing piece to be your trading mentor. All right, guys, the market is way too good to be missing some of the best setups. All right, I teach mindset stuff, technical analysis, fundamentals. All right, and so this is what you get. All right, you get a consistent coach that can tailor you and help you be a more consistent, more business-minded trader. All right, and that's what we offer here. All right, so enough of that. Let's get back to the market. SPY, where are we in the things? All right, we are sitting back at 589. Of course, last week sometime, early this week, we already reached these highs and we fell below, gave some back. We've already retested those highs. We fell back a little bit more, and now we're at a midway point. Now, a couple of days ago, I put out a video, and we're going to hover over to that and play the video and see how things played out so far. All right, you guys ready? Let's do it. Most traders I know, right, the retail traders, what they'll do is they'll chase this moment. When the professionals or the more seasoned traders, we're already in at the best risk to reward, and we're taking our profits here at the 0% mark. I mean the 100% mark or the 50% mark. Whereas other traders are chasing. They're at the whim of us, being ahead of the game. And that's the difference between a seasoned trader and a rookie, okay? And you have the pendulum swings. Price tends to want to go back and forth between these zones, back and forth. And so if I understand these zones, I'm trading from a place of structure. I understand. Now, right here at this swing that I told you guys about, this pendulum swing, right at that 100% mark is right around 592, 590. Okay, those what those price targets are. Okay, and I want you to notice when I go back to the chart exactly where we are. All right, at this moment in time around 343. Are we rejecting those prices? See, I'm recapping what I gave you and giving you a video right around the time where we're doing things that we need. Okay. All right, so let's see what we have here. This is what I'm trading with. And so I want to get in at the best risk to reward to the upside, lock in profits as it go. If it starts rejecting to go back down, I want to plan for the best risk to reward back to the downside. All right, so let's go ahead and check the SPY chart right now today, and let's see where we are on the swing of things, okay? All right. I'm going to go back to the daily chart. Bear with me as I navigate the screen. Okay, we are rejecting 590, guys. We are rejecting 590. Let's go to the 1 hour. All right, we are rejecting 590, 591. See, these are the same areas that I gave you, okay? And we are rejecting those now. Now, if you remember back on this, all right, we are on the 15-minute time frame. So we can even check the 15-minute time frame to see how those things are playing out, okay? And what do we have here? All right, we have price breaking the parallel channel. We have now created a new high. This was the previous high that got broke, so we are now above it. We need the price to stay above. Okay, let's put this here. Price needs to stay above 590.78 for sure. Okay, remember we have these swings. Okay, remember I talked about these swings, and we already had these swings. Those same swings are here, okay? I'm gonna show you these same swings. What I talked about, all right? Same thing, all right? How I said how price moves back and forth. back and forth in these zones, back and forth. All right. And now we're doing this. All right. We're right here in the swinging thing. Okay. We're right here. And so, what do you think is going to happen next? All right. Well, we have about 15 minutes left inside of the market right now. 15 minutes left inside of the market. And so, what I want to see is I want to see price stay above. Okay. Let's go ahead and do this. All right. Now we already a bit extended. All right. Today is the last month. All right, tomorrow or today is the last days of the month, all right? And so we're gonna have a new monthly candle forming, all right? A new monthly candle forming, okay? And so that's gonna tell a lot of things. Why is that? Because we're basing everything off of a high, an open, and a close, all right? Now let me give you a small example of that, okay? What I'm showing you, you can apply on any time frame. Now let's just say we were waiting to go into a trade to the upside. Well, what do I wanna see? This candle here, right? Let's say back on May 28th, right? I want to see this candle get breached. Remember, simple technical analysis for calls, so trades to the upside or downside. This is simple analysis for up or downside, what I'm about to explain to you, okay? Anytime I have a candle price open higher than the previous one, let's do it together. Let's make this simple. All right, watch my cursor. We're dealing with this Christ-like doji candle right here, okay? The high of that candle is about 588.19, all right? 588.19 on the 15-minute time frame. So right when the 15 minutes goes by, let's say, for example, this was a 9:30 candle. Market opened up at 9:30 a.m. So at 9:45 a.m., from 9:30 to 9:45, that's a 15-minute time interval, okay? And so we want to wait to see at that 15-minute candle, is price going to go above this high of this candle, which is 588.19. If it opens up above this candle here, the next one, if it opens up above 588.19, I want to look towards the upside for calls. Price has broken a high, okay? Now this is a 15-minute time frame. Now you can do the same thing on the month. It being that this is getting ready to be the last days of the month, what you want to see is, one second. What you want to see is, you want to see price stay above the previous monthly, and I'm actually trying to get the monthly to show up. Here we go. Okay. All right. Stretch this out a little bit, and we're going to move on along, because what we have here in the SPY is a market rotation, and usually towards the end of the month, sometimes you get profit taking. Folks who have already participated, they've already participated. Let's take this off. Let's take these off. All right. And what we want to see, all right, for the month, all right, the high of that candle is 595.54. All right. That's the price that has to hold on a monthly time frame next month for us to see a parabolic move towards the upside. All right. And that price again is 595.54. All right. Now we need to stay above this previous body range of this candle, which is 589.42. 589.42 needs to hold. And remember, guys, this is a live recap and guidance for SPY before the market closed on 5:30. So I'm preparing you, right, to see in real time, preparing you on what could happen for next week. All right, so you can rewind the video if you need to go back and get valuable pieces of information. But what I'm looking for is for structure to hold certain price levels, and I'm basing it off of the higher time frame. And we need to hold these levels. All right, so 589.42, it needs to hold on the monthly. Right now, we are holding that. This previous body range, I need for price to show strength beside this range that dictates the current price movement. All right, and right now we are at 590.13, 590 being the line in the sand for auction. Right, remember we talked about 0, 50, and 100% mark on some previous videos. So what do we have? All right, this top line right here, all right, that'll be 100% mark. And we have another line right in the middle of that range, of that box, all right? That'll be your caution, slow down, right? Your midway point, your 50% mark. And right here we have your 0% mark, all right, for your best risk to reward for calls to the upside. And we have these three levels, okay? What do we have here? We have three levels, 1, 2, and 3, okay? Now, right here, as of now, price has been rejected from the 595, 594 level, okay? We are still above the midway point, which is about 576, all right? And so we are still bullish. What we haven't done is we have not engulfed this candle here, all right? The high of that is 597. The high of this is 595, all right? So we still have two prices to get to see parabolic moves to create new highs past 615, but we need to stay above 590 in the previous day's close, and we also need to stay above 589.42. That could be any day of the week next week, no matter Monday through Friday next week. Price needs to hold above 589.42 as your last line in the sand. Besides 587, I'll say 587, 586. All right, but if these prices break, then 585 is your next target, and we will see lower prices. Other than that, 590 is your 0% mark out of that $10 range from 590 to 600. I hope that makes sense. Let's toggle back down to the 1 hour and see what we have. All right. Seem like price wants to continue. We are above our metrics. Okay. Now, this is a possible head and shoulders forming. I want you guys to be aware of that as well. All right. So that's something else to keep in mind. A head and shoulders pattern. All right, when you see it forming, this is a shoulder, a head, and a shoulder, just like a human being. We have a head and two shoulders on the side, all right? This is a bearish pattern, okay? This is a bearish pattern, means price can fall to the downside, all right? A head and shoulders is a bearish pattern, okay? Okay, head and shoulder. Right, so we have head and shoulder. That's what this means, okay? So if we fail this price, all right, the price we're at right now, okay, let's go ahead and put me a simple line break here, all right? I want to see price get below this line here, all right? We are already creating, all right, here is a lower high because it's lower than this high, all right? So that's bearish structure. Okay, so we have some indecision. On a high time frame, we're showing some strength above certain numbers. On a smaller time frame, we're showing some bearish patterns, right? But it does not have to happen. I'm giving you guys scenarios for you to know what to happen. Now, you could be in swings or out of swings, whether you're in calls or in puts, all right? I don't know that much. I'm giving you a bearish pattern, all right, on the smaller time frame, and a macro, a higher time frame analysis as well, so you'll be prepared, all right? So 589.47 has to hold. We have about 8 minutes left in the market. The market imbalances just came out, all right? So what we're doing is we're preparing to see what could happen. Now, I'm already in call swings. I have August calls, all right? I want to retest those highs, okay? Because I have time on it. Even if we do go down, I have enough cushion to play the downside or just to hold my calls or to add to it on a bounce back towards the upside. That's just me, all right? But as you can see, price is trying to get back to that 589, 67, and 40 area. And if we fail these areas, we will see downside continuation. We have to hold these prices. And as you can see, there's a battle going on right now. Let's go back to the 15. All right, same shoulder, and we are rejecting the same red line. I need to see hold. If we break below that red line, we can see a flush. Now let's throw a volume profile up here. All right, a future forward thinking indicator. All right, the volume profile is suggesting bullish momentum. All right, above 590.19 is a good place to hold calls as well on a smaller time frame. And if we break above this parallel channel, we will see parabolic moves towards 600 and above following next week. Now, keep in mind before we close it out, the VIX is sitting around 18. The VIX at 18. We're sitting at a place of demand. We could bounce here like we did several other times for the market to fall, or we could continue to the downside. I'm going to check the 4-hour time frame, and the higher time frame says that we can continue to the downside. So we have mixed messages. We have a higher time frame on the VIX and the SPY. The VIX measures fear and greed, right? How many people are buying puts and calls in the market, all right? As you can see, the volatilities for the S&P 500. We just looked at the SPY. So whenever I see the VIX go down, that means that people are buying calls and SPY can go to the upside, all right? And that's the VIX, all right? Now, I want to warn you of something, okay? The smaller time frame is showing weakness, okay? Remember, we had to hold certain numbers, all right? And guess what? 589.66 needed to hold, all right? And it is bouncing off of that same number that I gave you just 5 minutes ago, all right? Now, I want you to be aware of quadruple witching coming up. I will do a video about this. It's called quadruple witching. Quadruple witching is a event in the stock market where most of the major markets expired contracts and they go worthless. So people are moving their positions, and we deal with contracts when we trade options in the equity market. And so when those contracts expire, right, just like insurance premium for a car, you have to renew it. That's what's going on. Quadruple riching is renewal of contracts, repositioning of shares with hedge funds and institutions and retail traders. And so you get that on June 20th. Don't quote me on that, but June 20th is that day. And so that could be a catalyst for bullish momentum to the upside or bearish momentum to the upside. You just want to be prepared, understanding the levels, right? The numbers I give out, the levels, and then wait for the catalyst of the news to confirm that volume push. As of right now, 4 minutes into the market, we are pushing towards 591. All right, so that is a very, very good sign. We stayed above the number I gave you guys. Okay, and so that's what I'm looking for so far, right? I am in call swings, and as of now, it looks like I'm going to be holding these call swings. So I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you for your time. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is your weekend edition coming off to the Memorial Day weekend, all right? The end of the month. So you want to be cautious and careful about what you do and be very selective. Remember, if we get any higher opens above the previous weekly, monthly, or daily closes, then that is bullish to the upside. If we close below it, that is bearish. And as of right now, it looks like we are opening and closing above the previous day's open, which is bullish, guys. All right, so I appreciate your time, and until the next time, guys, make sure to like the video. It helps out the YouTube algorithm to get to other people in the community that want to learn trading. And if you want to join a like-minded community or find a good options trading book manual for you, down in the link below in the description. Check it out, join the thriving community. Make sure you like and subscribe so that you're notified of the valuable videos whenever I post them. All right, you guys have a blessed weekend. Hope you made some money. I'll see you guys next week. Until the next time, peace.